geological aspects of environmental health. And in this, we'll be covering mainly the geological process which causes impact on the environmental health. And in complementary relation to that, we need to understand few non-geological processes also that causes impact on environmental health. Initially, we will see how the geological processes are important, which causes some stress on the natural balance of environment. So that we can understand its impact on the life on the earth. Otherwise, there is no reason to think about the imbalance, as it causes some problem to the life on the earth. We need to have a proper approach to understand what it is. So as a topic, interest of topic can understand that it will move around some environmental processes, then geological processes, and we are going to check these processes, what products they generate, and how this process directly as a process impacts the life, or indirectly by producing the products it will impact the life on the earth. Direct processes can take in short, for example, like earthquake is a natural geological process, and life will be directly impacted due to earthquake. Second example is volcanic eruption. That will cause direct impact immediately after its eruption, and indirect impact after some time. That ash will flow long distances, its gases will flow long distances, cause some imbalance in the atmospheric gas conditions, cause some imbalance in the chemistry of soil, and then after some time its effects will be seen or understood. So there are immediate effects of natural processes, and there are a few other effects which take some time. So there is a long range of impact with respect to time. So we'll be interested in both of these, immediate effects and long duration extended effects. Whatever natural processes are there around us, we are tuned to it. We have direct relation to it, because life is nothing but the interdependency. Life is out of some existing things. It has taken birth, and it will end up into the same thing from which it has started. So it is a cyclic process. Non-living materials also goes through the cyclic process. It has some source. There will be some process on the source. It will convert into the product, and again it will act as a source itself. So this is the cyclic process, and in a particular time these processes and products are balanced, are stable. Life on earth is also part of all these processes. So we are organization of different, we are product of different processes and the sources from which we are made up of. Like one product which is produced in industry has some raw material, needs some raw material for its production, and that raw material processed and assembled together in a particular fashion produces a fine product that is usable. Same thing, in same way, natural processes works. So resources are collected from the surrounding which are available. They'll be gathered together to form or create something. And again, in cyclic process, it will be destroyed to create a source or required material for the next creation. Now, this is what it happens. We are concerned with this topic of environmental aspect of geological processes because this geological process impacts by two ways. As a process, the processes of geological activities impact the life, and products which are caused due to geological process also impact the life. It starts with the life on the earth, and we are thinking all processes with human-centric attitude. So if we go back to the historical time when man started appearing on the earth, it adapted its life according to the environment. So earlier phases of development, man had little needs. Just to survive was the objective of life. So food, water, and shelter was the basic needs which remain till today. But improvisation in the quality of life created the problems. So basic needs, if man could have survived with, would not have caused many problems. But expectations beyond the basic needs, that we can define it as a greed, beyond what you need can be defined as a greed. So this greedy attitude generated in the minds of the human beings, causing imbalance in the setup of nature, and that is a cause of concern. So if you want to see to the process from long time ago to the today till recent time, we can see that man has created problems for itself by its behavior pattern. And again, we came to the point that we need to study the problems and try to understand how the problems are generated and find the viable solutions for that. And we coarsely can say that greed is the basic reason for all major imbalance, and man has invited problems for self. If you go back to the Roman times, we refer the highly civilized societies on the earth since more than 3,000 years back. If you consider the evolution of the culture, human culture and society norms, we can go further back to the 50,000 human generations. Rather more beyond that also. So 50,000 years went through, and man has come to today's quality of life. So the life gradually evolved on the earth when you consider the human beings and civilization of human beings. Coarsely, we can take example of advanced civilizations like Romans. Or before that, the Metallic Age started. But as we have some historical evidences of loss of civilization due to some geological aspect, is referred to the Roman civilization, where Romans were using lead metal as major part of their lifestyle. They used crockeries, they used glass, they used some utensils, they used some waterways which carries water for drinking. All that was processed by using lead metal, unknown to its hazardous impacts on their life. It is said that Roman civilization was having load of lead poison in their bodies, and most of the people died due to lead poisoning. So this is human civilization and culture which adapt some modern tools and resources taken from the nature to ease their or add value to their life. If you refer it to the earlier civilizations, 10,000 years before Romans, if you look at the behavioral pattern of humans, you will find that people were using clay pots. People were using utensils made from the bones, utensils made from the wood, utensils made from the rock, probably less loaded with the hazardous metals like lead. So comparing to the lifestyle of Romans and civilizations 10,000 years before Romans, if you see, load of poisonous elements was less in ancient time. But unknown to the poisonous effects of lead, Romans were using it because they wanted to improvise their life. So it is a cultural conflict why they used it unknown to the poisonous effect. That is a matter of study. So we are interested not in Roman culture or behavioral pattern of human beings in past times. We are interested looking at the content of today's lecture is focusing only on to the geological aspects. And in reference to Roman civilization, we can focus only to the lead. Lead is derived from the natural sources around the Romans, and it was provided by the rocks which carried that lead in it. So lead is the matter of concern. Again, if you look at the development of human civilization, industrialization was inevitable part, because in the rush of improvising the life, so many products came into existence by research and experimentations, and there was a mass demand. And you know that if there is demand of masses, production scale goes on increasing, and thus starts the industrialization. And we know also that industries uses resources or raw material for the production of material. So this is putting stress on the resources which are used as a raw material. And from where the resources come? The resources come from surroundings. So resources was collected from the surrounding, creating some stress on the balance which was naturally created otherwise by the nature. You can look at the top of the slide. Illness or disorder tend to arise from imbalance in the nature. Nature is by itself a balanced phenomenon. It is still happening process, still going towards some stability, but by its own pace, by its own speed. Anything different from that speed will causes imbalance. So nature has its own pace and speed of balancing the things, taking the all things into equilibrium state. But anything in natural, let's say, like the process of industrialization, which mobilizes large amount of resources from one place to other place, is definitely not in the tune of time what nature is going ahead, what pace the nature is making. So consumption and mobilization of resources, high industrialization, due to the demand of people, demand created in the minds, demand created in the minds due to greed and expectation beyond the necessity, beyond the requirement, is causing the imbalance, is putting the more stress on the natural processes. Hopes you're getting my point. Again, degradation of forest is the major issue. As one of the principles of environmental aspects, we know that population creates pressure on the resources. Population continuously increases. There's no balance between birth and death. Modern research and medical facilities or health facilities has increased the lifespan of the human beings. Increase in the lifespan means more consumption of the resources. Increase in the population means more consumption of the resources. More time of stay is again demanding more resources. So, increase in the life expectancy, increase in the population demands more resources, more processing, hence more pressure on the nature, hence more intense imbalance process. Hence we invite the problems. So forests are not saved in this process. Wood for different reasons is in most demand. You are familiar with the right now happening phenomena of pandemic. We call it as COVID-19 pandemic. Surge 1, Surge 2, Surge 3. And you know what is happening around. You must be seeing the news. There is load or overload of funerals in the cremation ground. As ethnic process, we burn the bodies after death. It is a common practice. And we know that we use this wood. If you look at the other aspect of environmental imbalance, is it not creating more demand of wood of burning? So it is abrupt demand. It is not in the tune with the time of the nature. So a lot of wood is used. And from where it will come? Will it come from the industries? No, it is coming from the forests. Parallelly, wood cutting process has started in the forests to dry out it, to transport it from the forest to the cremation grounds of the cities and places where the bodies are burned. So it is directly creating pressure on the forest resources. This one small example. Another example is that woods are used for furniture, used for common cooking process, used for preparation of paper, used for preparation of decorative items, used as a part of um, building construction material. So many uses of wood are there, and it is sourced from the forest. And who is demanding it? Increasing population is demanding it. So that is creating imbalance in the health of forests. What is the long-term effect? You can see it in the form of intensified erosional processes. As land will be barren, it will be open to impact of environmental erosional activities. What is again further going to happen is going to create the imbalance in the production of sediment loads. And you know what happens as sediment load is created. I need not tell you. Again, disturbance and modification of river systems. Nature has its own way of managing the water which falls on its uh, ground, on the ground. It carves its own way to go ahead to the low grounds and ultimately to the oceans. But human beings modifies it. You know what way we modify it? We mainly modify it by constructing dams on it. First impact of construction of dam is that water will start standing against the wall of dam. The area earlier which was not covered by water is now covered by water. That area was having earlier settlements, human settlements. Ground was covered with forestation, with green cover. Now it goes underwater. So it causes imbalance of biodiversity in the areas where water of the dam stands. That causes environmental imbalance. So this load of imbalance is created due to new developments against the river system, which was otherwise balanced by natural processes. We can take example of the huge dams which are constructed in the Chinas. You must have had a reference, and I had given you flying mention of China dams. If you just Google search, you will find that major structures uh, are developed by China in the form of dams. You can notice them easily on the Google map. So satellite images are there available. You can search for it. They are so huge that huge amount of water stands against those dams, creating additional load of water which was not expected there at the place where the water is standing. It is said that it has modified the rotation of the earth, maybe at a very minor scale, but it has modified the speed of rotation of the earth. Such is the imbalance creating. Few examples of uh, known dams are there, like Koyna dams, where it says that due to imbalance of weight, which creates stress on the rocks on which the water is standing, causes or triggers some earthquakes. Like Koyna dams in Maharashtra, frequent earthquakes are noticed there. Maybe result to some natural other processes also. But it definitely causes some stress on the area where these structures are developed. Then we modify the pattern and design of the river, again creating some changes in the velocity and trend of direction of the flow. And it has its own impact. In any cases, all these processes impacts life on the earth. So mainly if you consider natural resources as um, sources which support the life on the earth, they are living and non-living masses or earth material is classified into living and non-living. We are focused to only living because we are getting impacted. But distribution of material is throughout in the life and where there is no life. That is both in living and non-living.